Welcome in to Kevin and Zach Reacts. Orioles lose to the Padres in probably the most disappointing fashion they could have lost in. Tonight, 6-4 the final. Craig Kimbrel, Brandon Hyde, trade deadline. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to dive into it. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We're moving over to a new channel soon here on Kevin and Zach Reacts. Still under the Reinberg Media empire, which I know everybody loves. But what a day, honestly, here for the Orioles. 2 trades, a game that, you know, they Zach and I talk about this all the time, where they go through the trouble of coming back and they just blow the game, or they like get it within 1 run or tie the game just to not do anything with it. So that's unfortunate. And the Orioles' rough stretch here continues. Of course, I'm not alone, though. We do have Mr. Bali on the streets, Zach Bollinger, with us. Zach, that hat's looking that's a beauty right there. That hat is a beauty.
I feel so stupid wearing this hat after that freaking loss, Kevin.
Is that rally cap turned up right now, I see?
No, Kevin, this was, I can't believe Craig Kimbrel just blew another freaking game. That's what this hat is.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have to start there. I mean, I don't think there's anywhere. I mean, I wanted to start with a cool win, trade deadline, which we'll get to the deadline, of course. I think we have to even more now. But let's start with Kimbrel, man. I mean, first of all, did not understand the decision to even put him in this game.
I didn't
by Brandon Hyde. We know what happened yesterday. We know he threw, what was it, 30 pitches? 30-plus pitches? And you put him back in. Like, I get that there aren't a lot of arms you can trust in that bullpen, and Kimbrel is your quote-unquote closer. Although I'm not so sure anymore. But he was your quote-unquote closer. But you saw what happened yesterday. I think he needed just some level of a reset, even if it's just a day. He threw too many pitches yesterday, and he comes in this one, and, like, it's already shaky when he's rested. And now he comes in here, and I don't get the decision. And obviously, it was just a disaster. I mean, I don't really have words for it, man. What do you got?
It was
just yeah, that about sums it up. Honestly, he disconnected. I don't know where the heck he went. That sums it up. Just disconnecting and getting on out of here, because that's all that. That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, I was going. Oh,
you know, Zach, I think that summed it up perfectly.
All right, am I back?
You just leaving. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, that's how I feel. Is what I wanted to do. I wanted to leave this game once Kimbrel went in, but it's just, you can't trust him. You can't put him in a close game. You can't put him in with the lead. Yesterday was not all Kimbrel's fault. Today's completely Kimbrel's fault. I mean, you can't feel confident with Craig Kimbrel winning you ball games right now. And if that's your closer and you want to be competitive in the AL East and in the AL, try to go win a World Series, you can't have Craig Kimbrel as your closer.
No, I mean, I'm not touching him in the 9th inning in a playoff game. I don't care how well he does the rest of the season. I mean, I think this is the issue for me, Zach, is we've already gone through a Kimbrel reset, right? When he's on, but the issue is it's so inconsistent where we don't know when he's going to be on, when he's not going to be on. And we've already gone through the whole, we're going to pitch Kimbrel in low-leverage situations. We're going to get him back on track. I mean, they do that now. They can't put him in high-leverage stuff anymore right now. At the very least, they have to put him in low-leverage again. But we've already been there. And then if he gets it back on track, what's stopping him from all of a sudden becoming inconsistent another time? I mean, we've gone through this dance before, and it's so frustrating for so many people, because
GPS.
It's just I don't know. We've been through this dance before, and I'm sure a lot of people are just like, okay, maybe we're in the clear now. But clearly, it is never easy with Craig Kimbrel. It was easy for about 3 weeks, a month. But now we're in a situation where, I mean, you can't. The only way you can move off of Kimbrel is if you DFA him, and I don't think that's realistic. Like, you're going to have to find a way to let him ride the pine. They just need Felix back, but the issue is they're not getting Felix back this year. So they have to move, but this team, as it currently stands, does not have a closer. They need to figure out who their closer is. I know you've been riding that Tanner Scott train hard, Zach. And this is why Sir Anthony Dominguez comes in and he's able to pitch a scoreless inning. But he cannot be the only arm now. And I say that now because they did get their starter in Zach Eflin, who, again, still more starter help could certainly be on the way. But they also need more bullpen help, and that is as evident as ever right now.
Yeah, I mean, can you trust this bullpen? Can you trust even Yennier Cano? Like, would you have felt confident in him getting that? Like, more confident than Kimbrel? But it feels like anyone we throw out there right now, I'm not 100% confident are getting us anywhere. And that's the issue with this team right now. And I'm not. And this is not just the bullpen. This is the bats. Where have the bats been? It's another. Adley Rutschman's batting like 180 in his last 40 games. I mean, you want to be a superstar in this league, you can't bat 180 over 40 games. Like, that doesn't get cut. That can't cut it for your stars. You have Gunnar Henderson booting the baseball again. You can't be a star player, try to win AL MVP and be booting the ball. I'm not even going to comment on whatever Heston Kjerstad attempted out there because that was a disgrace to left fielding. But
I feel like Orioles fans can't even talk about
my brother
anymore.
in Christ just put the glove on the baseball. Like, what are we doing? Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
and he's a right fielder. He's a right fielder.
Yeah, I mean, again, we can't really talk about Verdugo anymore. I feel like after that, we're still going to
99% catch probability.
Yeah, same thing. 99% catch probability. And actually, I wanted to bring up this comment. We got a lot of comments here from Gordon. Shout out. What's up, Gordon? Appreciate you checking in.
How's it going, Gordon?
Great guy, by the way. Makes incredible rugs. We had him on the show. If you missed that interview, go check him out. But this kind of encapsulates everything here from Gordon. He says, "I swear loving this team is like being in a toxic relationship. False hope just to hurt you again after making up. Today felt good. Got trades. Had a mediocre lead. And then to have it all get blown by Kimbrel. And today did feel good, right? The serotonin of trades coming in and we're going live. We're talking about it. It's Ryan's. They couldn't even get a win on Ryan's birthday. They couldn't even do Ryan good and get a win on Ryan's birthday. I mean, blowing the Ryan's birthday day game. So it's tough, man, because I mean, is Kimbrel your seventh guy now? But here's the thing. If Kimbrel is your seventh inning guy, I'm sure he signed up to be the closer this year. Now, you can't factor that into this decision. I don't care what they agree on. It's not working.
But they've already put him as the seventh guy.
I know, but the Kimbrel, if they say we have to move you more full-time to that role, because I'm sure what they told him in the first place when they did it the first time was, we're going to just get you back on track and get you back to where where our conversations were with the closer. So we're going to put you in these situations, get you back on track. You'll be there. If this is a more permanent conversation, is their issue taken from Craig Kimbrel and said, no, I've been a closer for practically his entire career. Is he going to take issue with, okay, well, this is a more permanent thing now. And I don't know if I liked that because I came here to be the closer because Felix just wasn't here for the year. But at this point, again, if you're Brandon Hyde, if you're Mike Elias, you can't care about what that conversation was because it's not working. The agreement was he's going to come in, he's going to be your closer, he's going to get it done effectively. He is not holding up his end of the bargain right now. He's just not doing it. We can be objective and we can say that while he has had good stretches this season, it has been more the bad is so loud. It's so loud. Even though he has had good moments, the bad moments are just so loud. And that comes with being a closer. When you have bad moments, it likely results in blown leads, blown games, whatever it may be. But it has just been so loud this year for him. And a team that is trying to compete for a World Series, they cannot have those loud moments as much as the Orioles are having them right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is just bad baseball. Like, there's no other way to put it. This is horrific, disgusting baseball. This is below 500 baseball in last 35 games are like below 500. I mean, God love the Yankees. That's all I can say. God love the Yankees for just putting on the choke job as big as us, because neither of these two teams, the Orioles don't deserve to be in first. The Yankees don't deserve to be in first. Like, it's bad baseball, Kevin. It's horrific baseball. The offense disappears, then the pitching disappears. Then the offense disappears, then they both disappear. It's just one or the other every other day. When was the last time you felt confident in this offense? And that brings up the point. Now let's talk about it. Do you have to go get a bat now?
That conversation, I mean, you said it gets louder every day. I mean, I think you have to at least consider it at the very, very least. And again, if that means Arias is DFA'd or you trade him in that package or, it's Pache or whatever. I mean, you with those two guys, you have two roster spots to work with, right? That's kind of what we're doing here offensively. If you just go 1-for-1 offense, you don't factor in bullpen or starters or none of that. Offensive wise, you have two roster spots to work with. I think that getting a more consistent bat into this team is more important than Pache. I do.
Without
a
doubt. Also,
right?
Can I just say something? This is on me, hand up. I did not look at his stats close enough. He only has 4 stolen bases in his career. I thought we got a guy to replace Jorge. Did we just get a semi-worse Austin Hayes with a little bit more speed? Like, what is this?
Yeah, and I see Alvin saying you have a bat. It's called Kobe Mayo. He should absolutely be up right now. I mean,
without a doubt. I mean, give one reason
no one.
why he shouldn't.
Yeah, no one. So what I think here is if you have two roster spots and if you're the Orioles, I feel like you should feel comfortable moving off of Pache and Arias at this point. I think you bring up Mayo for infield and then you go get an outfielder. I think it's 1-1. You go trade for a bat and you bring up Mayo. I think that is your route. If you're the Orioles, because you can't sit here with how there are so many directions I can kind of pull this in. The first one is you talked about it. The Stars can't keep doing this. If their contributions are walks and singles and whatnot, that's just not going to cut it. Guys go through slumps, right? I'm not saying they don't. That is a natural part of what baseball is. But the Orioles are in a spot right now where they can't really afford that type of thing because you're getting some. I mean, you're the guys that are carrying this offense right now, Zach. It's Kowser, who's been putting together a great piece of hitting over the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you want to go back to. Tony, obviously, is doing great. Ryan O'Hearn is still going out there and doing his thing. And then, why am I forgetting the last one? Why am I forgetting the last guy?
I would say Westberg, sort of.
Yeah, Westberg, kind of, but there was. Oh man, why am I forgetting? There's one more that I'm forgetting. I'm gonna feel dumb for forgetting, but those are the guys that are carrying your offense right now. You want to have those guys working in tandem with your stars, and it's not that right now. It's not. I actually shout out to I don't know if you saw this tweet from RDT Zach, but was probably the funniest tweet of the night and kind of just bringing some levity to a situation that really doesn't feel like you can bring levity to it. But RDT said some of this has to fall on the security in center field. Just don't open the door for Kimbrel. Physically, just don't let him on the field.
Yeah. Is there a rule saying we can't do that?
You'd probably fight him.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, anything, take one for the team, right?
I mean, dude, it's ridiculous. You can't trust that guy anymore.
No, and that they have a problem here, and it's not just because of he can't close games anymore. If this ends up becoming a role issue for him, they're in a whole heap of trouble because if it's so unrealistic for me that they would DFA him. I think everything would have to go wrong. Yeah. Like he's like, I'm not accepting this. You have to DFA me and you eat the cash essentially. But I think that he's not. If there was any inkling that he would maybe be able to work in tandem with Felix next season, I think we're past that. I think there's no shot he comes back. But you dug yourself into this hole through the Orioles, right? You signed him for the year. You have to work through it, but not in the closer role. It can't be the closer role. Low leverage situations, and even if he performs well in those, can you put him back in the closer role effectively?
No.
So, yeah, it's just, and again, the pitching was bad tonight, but I can't get over the decision to actually put him in the game. I can't even. Again, Cano threw how many pitches yesterday? 3, 4?
I think it was 6.
Yeah, 6. Kimbrel threw 30, collapsed, and then they trust him again tonight. The guy's mental is still probably shot from, if not the Marlins game, the Yankees game.
Yeah.
And then you put him back in that situation. That to me, it was a poor managerial decision. And I think we can all be objective and say that. Where
that was a very poor managerial decision.
It just you put a guy in there who has severely struggled recently, is trying to find his groove back, and you put him in a high leverage situation when you know the Orioles need wins right now. And that to me is just it's confusing. I think that's the word I'll use, is confusing.
What was that? Sorry, this guy's revving his bike.
But
I can't.
You never know what you're gonna get on volley on the streets, man.
Dude,
I just said it was confusing. That's all I said.
Yeah, no, this I lost of words for tonight, just all around, Kevin.
Yeah, it was such a good day leading up to this. Too.
Such a great day.
Like I had so much fun on the trade deadline streams, and I know you and Ryan was getting birthday donations up the wazoo today. Like, it was a good vibes day. Even if you didn't love the trades, like, still making trades just has like the serotonin.
The Orioles got better.
Boost.
Yeah.
And then to do this just kind of takes all the wind out of the sails. So it's frustrating. Let's get to some chats here. First of all, Andrew saw us before the stream. Appreciate you becoming a member. If you are not a member and you'd like to become a member here on the Ryan Ripken Show, we have multiple tiers you can join. We have exclusive emotes. You get first access to show guest lists. We have exclusive member streams. So be sure to support here on the Ryan Ripken Show. And again, be sure to like and subscribe here on the channel. This is not the Ryan Ripken Show. This is Kevin and Zach React. So we're going to be moving over to another channel. Actually, we're going to have a big reveal stream tomorrow afternoon. So be sure to tune into that. We're going to be unveiling the logo, unveiling the channel, and we'll start streaming over there starting tomorrow. We'll still stream on both just to start it off, right, for people who are missing the announcements, but eventually we'll be going over in the channel under the Ryan Ripken Media. And then, of course, Ryan Ripken Show Monday and Thursday live in studio. All right, Mike. Appreciate you, Mike. $2 saying, is a veteran bat a must now for the trade deadline?
Yes.
It's a must. It's as a must as it's ever been.
Yeah.
It's ever been.
Kevin, that is a perfect way to put it. It's as big of a must as it's ever been. Because I don't know if they do it, but I think it is definitely out there. Because can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay. My phone told me internet connection was weird. So it's one of those situations where I would love to give it to a young guy, but can you trust a young guy to come up here? We've seen guys struggle. Like, it's hard to put that pressure on a Kobe Mayo, on a Jackson Holiday to be like, hey, you got to come up and save this offense.
No, I hear, and that's why, to me, I feel like the 1-1 is almost like the perfect plan, because it doesn't put all the pressure on Mayo, and you go get another veteran bat you can slot into your lineup. So, again, that's Pache and Elias should be on the way out, and then you bring in a veteran offensive. I mean, again, you don't really need power guys at this point. You have enough of those. Go get like a high contact hitter. Go get a 300 hitter, 290 guy, and put him in your lineup. Put him in the bottom order. Put him in the bottom part of that lineup.
We have enough guys who rely on the long ball.
Exactly. So go get a high contact, high average player. Put him in that lineup. I think that will solve things. Then you also have the Mayo thing, which I just think he's outgrown AAA. I think it's his time right now. So you don't want to just throw your eggs in the young guy basket. I agree. But I think a balance of having a veteran and then Mayo, who is the young guy, would help. So that's where I am with that. All right, we have C Money, $5. Appreciate you, C Money. I know I'm in the minority, but we lost our balance. We can't have a whole team of inexperienced players every day. Hard for them to make adjustments. Yeah, I mean, you look at the guys that are carrying this offense right now. Obviously, Cowser's a young guy, but Tony, O'Hearn, like Westy's still a young guy too. But like, you can't have. It's tough because like your stars are young guys, but they are held to a different standard. Like, those are young players, but you know that like those are your stars, and you live and die by those guys. You can have other guys carry around them, but you have to have them contribute something sometime. Like, Adley, what'd you say? 118, 180 is what?
Yeah,
what
it's like 180 over his last 40.
Yeah, like that. For how hot he was at the beginning of the season, that's just unfortunate. So I get what you're saying, C Money, 100%. You know, a a young team like this, it's tough. They have enough veterans in here, but you did just trade a veteran, right? Righty bat. And you're trying to figure things out here. So that's why I do think, if you want to trade for a vet, I would not be mad at that at all. And then we have Aviator member for 3 months. Appreciate you, Aviator, as always. Pat, before we got Kimbrel, Mad Dog Russo said the O's, I hope they know that this is not the direction to go. Those words keep echoing in my head. I think everybody knew that something like this was going to happen. It was just a matter of how often it was going to happen. Everybody knew there'd be moments like this for Craig Kimbrel. Everybody knew that, there would be blown saves and your heart's pounding when he comes in there. But it was just a matter of like, okay, how often are we going to get that Craig Kimbrel? And it has been, look, I think people did expect it, but for the Orioles' sake, it's been far more than they thought. And that is what's killing them right now, because that was their big offseason signing, right? Obviously, the Kimbrel was a trade, or not Kimbrel, the Burns was a trade, but that was your big offseason signing to try to replace Felix. But we know this, Zach, you just can't replace Felix.
No, Kevin, why can't I be like the guy who just walked past me? This guy just walked past me and looked at me and said, "Did the O's play tonight?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Did they win?" I said, "Nah, I lost 6-4. And he just said, "Damn," and walked away. Why at these points where I'm like, why does Craig Kimbrel throwing this game affect me so much?
Are you gonna let it go right now?
No, Kevin, it's just like, it's just one of those things where it's like, why? It's just disappointing, Kevin. I'm just disappointed.
I thought we were about to have a Zach meditation stream right now.
No, we almost, if we would have went live after that Craig Kimbrel home run, we would have had another Zach rant after that Yankees fight, but we're not there yet.
No. And I see Will. Yep. Cano should have been tonight's closer just because of the 30 pitch count yesterday. Even just to get them to extra innings, man. Like, it's just for Kimbrel, you put him in that situation. Yeah, you know what? He gives up the 3 yesterday, but that was a situation where it made more sense to bring him in because he had a cushion. There was no cushion here tonight after he blew a lead with a cushion. So I don't know. It's just, it is so disappointing. I think we are past the Craig Kimbrel closer days in Baltimore. Obviously, we're not here to overreact and give hot takes and try to do all that crazy stuff here. But we have extended a pretty long leash here for Craig Kimbrel, right? We have, worked with him, but we're not in May anymore. We're almost in August, and it is do or die time. And thank everything, Zach. The Yankees just are awful.
Did they lose?
Yeah, they lost.
They officially lost.
Yeah. They are just it is such a blessing. Such a blessing because we've talked about this for the past 3 weeks.
They do not deserve to be in first place, bro.
No, if the Yankees were playing even average baseball, this team would be 6 back.
How the fuck I'm just gonna say, how the fuck are we 2 games on?
I'll take it.
But what?
Yeah, the Yankees are awful. The Orioles are playing awful baseball right now.
Are the Red Sox about to win the AL East?
The Netflix bump, man. That's what it is.
It honestly is.
So crazy. And then we have another dono from Mike here. Appreciate you again, Mike, always. Who are you most disappointed at in the lineup? Right now, probably Adley.
Yeah.
Or you could pick between Gunnar and Adley, but I'm probably going to go Adley because it's just been so brutal. And it's not that Adley's a bad player. The reason it's a disappointment is because we know he's a good player, but he's hitting terribly right now. He can't find the ball.
He's hitting horrifically. It's just tough to watch, bro. It's just
this is an ever encapsulating thing, right? We talk about the offense, we talk about the bullpen, but their defense, you talked about with Heston and all these errors they're committing, and the catcher situation, that has been bad. They've gotten their starters have gotten inconsistent. I feel the most poorly though. First of all, Birch, but for Grayson, man, Grayson goes 5 innings, gives up 7 hits, 2 earned runs. And what they would have won the game without, the bullpen and whatever and the errors. But 5 innings, 2 runs is enough to at least get you a win here. And they couldn't do it. So,
yeah. All right, Kevin, my phone's about to die, honestly, so I got to go charge it. But I leave you with this and my final thoughts. Something's got to change. I don't know if it's the players. I don't know if it's a coach. I don't know if it's coaches. But a mentality has to change in Baltimore. This team is in trouble because no players in the world that get added to this. If we just don't have that fight to win these games, we can't keep sending Kimbrel out in these situations. We once again had multiple opportunities to put this game away and we couldn't do it. Like, it felt like when they came back, it gave you that glimpse of hope that these were the Orioles we used to see, that would come back, that were never out of it. And then immediately it was shot back down. And it was demoralizing, Kevin. It's demoralizing to watch this team just fight and claw and then just time after time shoot themselves in the foot to lose games. And it's just tiring. Like, how I feel for these guys, because it's like I can't even imagine being in that locker room, in that clubhouse, knowing that it's been right there. Like, you've had so many opportunities to take lead after lead and expand your lead in the division and put yourself in an opportunity and in a situation to go lock up the AL East, and they couldn't do it. They can't put it away. Now you're 2 games up, playing the worst baseball that you haven't since probably 2022, 2021.
yeah. It's brutal. I mean, it feels like they have no heart here, where like you started to maybe see that a little bit when they came back, and, Tony hits the tater and they get it. And you're like, all right, you're feeling something. You're feeling it. Like, here we go.
Felt like it could be a turning point. If Seti gets a hit there, I felt it was going to be a turning point. And that's a whole nother thing, but
Yeah. So, all right. You got your phone. All right. Go charge your phone.
I will be safe on the streets, Kevin.
Yes. Again, we'll both. I'm not ending the stream, but we'll both be back to do the live stream tomorrow afternoon to reveal everything for Kevin and Zach Reacts. So,
yeah, let's hope Wayward has a charger.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm just gonna be real with the people. We're entering the strip.
Yeah, and Laura leaves you with this $10 for a portable battery.
So, I love it. Yep. To the bar.
Oh, there he is.
All right, Kevin, I'm out of here.
All right, peace out, man. All right, welcome into Locked On Ravens. I'm your host. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, just brutal all around. I mean, seriously, I had so much fun doing like the trade deadline stuff today and just kind of keeping up. It started last night, right, with Rosarena, who thank God is out of the AL East, by the way. It was just hated facing him if you're the Orioles. But that was such a fun thing, and then like this just all ruins it. It all ruins it. So it's getting frustrating more so by the day. It's getting tiring. It's getting disappointing. Like, every single word that you can use, it is. So let's move off of the game for a little bit. We'll again, everything within context, but let's talk a bit about the trades the Orioles made today. Two moves. I think that hopefully they still have a couple up their sleeve. I mean, I think they have to after what we're witnessing here. It's just been a really rough stretch for them. But the first one, I was actually in the middle of making a short, and the Austin Hayes news gets just dropped. Austin Hayes gets traded to Philadelphia. So Anthony Dominguez and Kristen Pache end up coming into the fold. And I think for a lot of people, like, the moving off of a veteran was becoming more and more expected for me. But at the end of the day, just to see him get traded was a little shocking, and it's all right. But Dominguez is someone that is, again, he's not going to be the savior of your bullpen. You can't have him be the savior. And now with this whole Kimbrel thing and what it has been, you need something else. Zach and I had this conversation a little bit earlier today. where we had kind of said, and this was before the Eflin move happened, that we talked about, would you rather get a starter or another bullpen arm? And I was going, well, I'd want the starter, and then we can reevaluate bullpen. And they got the Eflin trade, which was great. And now I think you have to go back to bullpen. Because if anything, you got your starter, okay? And here's what the rotation would look like potentially. It's Burns, it's Rodriguez, slot Eflin in there as your third guy, and then Povich 4. Is it Suarez? Is it McDermott? One of those guys. Kramer is also. So it's like a 4-5, whatever. If you want to put Kramer as 4 and then the other guy at 5. I think they should still get another starter. I think they should. Because the Eflin trade is a good start. I think they need more. The Dominguez trade is a good start. I think they need more. So we will see. But I think overall, Dominguez is someone who had a pretty rough April. Was really bad in April. And has kind of settled down since. And was able to get through a scoreless one tonight. So hopefully a sign of good things to come. But you needed reinforcements, right? Dominguez is a reinforcement. That to me is where we are with that. But you need another arm. At least another starter and at least another bullpen arm. I don't know how realistic that is. But we also have to realize here with Eflin, first of all, he has a year of team control after this one. So that's big. Because now you go into 2025 and if Burns leaves, and again, knock on wood, right? There it is. Knock on wood, he does not. But if he does, you at least have Brayson and Eflin in your rotation while you work through what's going on with Bradish and Means and everybody. But I think you still need more because, again, we're not talking about, oh, the Orioles are making trades for next year. No, you want to go win the World Series now. Go win it now. Why don't you want to win it now? Now, there is a balance between balancing out the future and the present, but you have an opportunity. Your team just is playing terrible baseball right now. Now, is there any trade that would save the Orioles from this? At the end of the day, their offense rides through Gunnar and Adley. Their pitching staff rides through Corbin and Grayson, and their bullpen rides through I don't even know who anymore. I don't think their bullpen rides through anybody, and that's an issue in itself. But you know that your top 2 starters will get you a quality outing more often than not. But the issue is playoff series are not 2 games. You need to get the depth pieces behind those guys. The offense, we can talk about it, where Tony can carry the team for a little bit, Cowser can do it for a little bit, but you need to have Gunnar and Adley performing. You need to. And so Mike here saying make big moves or suffer for it. The reason the Orioles went out there and got Corbin Burns this offseason, that was a big move. Why did they do it? For a couple of reasons. They needed a starter. They needed an ace at the top of their rotation. They also had the prospects to get it done. They had guys that weren't going to play for this team. I think the Mateo injury does throw a little bit of a complication into what Connor Norby's trade status will be, but you still have other guys who you can make moves with. Do you want to give up a Jackson or a Kobe or a Basayo? I don't think they go that far, but I think a Stour should be on the table. Beavers, Fabian, whoever it may be, they have other guys they can dangle in these moves. And we know that the Orioles moved off of a couple prospects here for Eflin in Etzel, in Baumeister, in Horvath. Those are lower level guys. But to me, the Orioles have already made 2 moves. I've been on record saying that for Baltimore, I would be disappointed if they only made 1. They've made 2 already. But I feel like 2, if they don't make at least 2 more moves, I'll be disappointed still. If they don't end this deadline with 4 total moves, I'll probably be disappointed. And that's saying a lot. Because look, we know teams like the Yankees, they also have to make their fair share of moves. And, you know, Dodgers, and I'm sure the Phillies aren't done yet, and all these other top teams like the Guardians are looking for help too. Everybody's looking for help. But if you're the Orioles, you do have to be willing to move off of guys, which they were for Burns, but you got to continue that as well. I'm just rolling through the chat. I thought I saw a question. Can't find it anymore. Mike saying, I think, yeah, I say yes, we do give up a holiday. You want best pitching. You got to trade big to get big, period. The whole Screwball thing, I think Screwball would be electric, but I just don't know how they feel about the whole injury situation. I do think it is worth it to give up a bigger prospect, right? Whether it is, I mean, I personally wouldn't trade Jackson, but like, do you move off of Basayo or one of those other guys? I think that is worth it to go get a guy, but which guys are available? Screwball is the biggest name, it feels like, right now. I don't think the Steel's available. I just, it feels like that type of move would happen in the offseason and stuff that you can revisit then, unless it is for a Screwball. Maybe they surprise us and pull the trigger on that move. But if it's not him, there's not a guy I'd want to give up those players for. I don't think that there's a guy I would move him for outside of Screwball. But for me, the whole thing with the prospect talk is, at the end of the day, these guys are talented, but they are prospects where you don't know who these prospects are going to turn into. Now, there's a balance you have to have with that, where you can't, if they had traded Gunnar and traded Adley away when they were prospects for vets, the Orioles wouldn't be in this situation right now. And it didn't make sense with their timeline, right? But you can't just trade prospects to trade prospects, because that will probably come back to bite you more often than not. But if it is a move for a stud, if it is a move for a guy that has multiple years of team control, if it is a move for a guy that can help you win the World Series, we're not talking about a team right now that is on the fence between being a buyer and a seller, and they're trying to determine whether they want to go for it this year. They have to go for it this year. They're good enough to go for it this year, but they're not playing like they're good enough to go for it this year. They're a good team, but they're not playing like a good team. That's the issue right now. So if you're talking about a prospect and you're talking about who they can be in the future, for sure, there are prospects you're going to trade for these guys that are going to come up to the big leagues for other teams and probably make an impact. With the Orioles window being as long as it is, obviously those guys can help you. But there are only so many spots on a diamond. That's why they traded Joey Ortiz away, because there are only so many spots on the diamond. They chose between Westberg and Ortiz, and they chose Westberg. So they need more pitching. They need offense. They need a lot, but a lot of other teams need a lot too. And so when you hear all these teams going after Flaherty and going after Talion and going after, Fetty and Crochet and whatever, and offensively, whoever is going to get traded, Rosarena, I think a lot of people thought he was going to the Dodgers, but he goes to the Mariners. Like, teams are competing with other teams. Here's the other thing, though. The Orioles can go prospect for prospect with any team. I've said this over and over and over again. They can. If they want a guy, they can outbid anybody for a guy, because that's how good their farm system is. If they wanted a Screwball and they were really serious about that, and other teams were saying, we're going to give you this, we're going to up our package to this. If the Orioles want a Screwball, they could slap their credit card on the table and say, yeah, you can give them that, but we can give them this. And that's that. You slap that stat down and you say, we have more than you. We're getting our guy. They can do that. They can do it. The question is, do they want to do it? And I think whenever you have an opportunity to win a World Series, you should be exhausting every avenue to do so. And I think Mike Elias is doing so. But the question that he has to answer, I can't answer this question. Anybody listening can't answer this question. Only he and the team can answer this question of, one, do they believe this team can do it? And two, is this the year to go all in? Is it the year? Again, I can't answer that question for him. Anybody else can answer that question for him. He is the only one, and the Orioles are the only ones that can answer that question. So I think when you have quote-unquote generational prospects, it has to be the perfect deal, right? Like a Jackson. Kobe's awesome. Basayo's awesome. But look, this is a business. The Orioles aren't just going up against themselves. They're going up against 29 other teams who want to win a World Series too. And some teams are in a rebuild. Some teams are at the front of the line. So you have to give up stuff to get stuff. You can't just throw a package of Fabian Beavers and Seth Johnson and say, all right, give us Scuba. It's not how it works. It's just a matter of, do the Orioles feel comfortable enough doing that? Or do they feel more comfortable in the offseason doing that? They obviously feel comfortable enough to make margin moves at the deadline. We saw it with Flaherty last year. We saw it with Eflin and Dominguez this year. But are they going to go out there and get a big fish? We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. I see Calvin saying Rosenthal said the Orioles will go back to Flaherty because he already had his chance. Don't go after Crochet since he hasn't proven himself for an extension. I don't even know if Crochet gets traded at this point, if we're being honest. And I wouldn't trade for Flaherty personally. I don't know. It's just something. I don't know. Just about how it went last year. I know he's a different pitcher this season. I know he's changed, but yeah, I'm not sure I'd go Flaherty. I mean, I feel like everybody hates Fetty, but I feel like Eflin Fetty is a completely fine trade deadline for me pitching wise. Like, I feel like Fetty by himself, yeah, maybe you'd want a little more. I feel like Eflin and Fetty combined is like, okay, I'll take that, because then your rotation would be Burns, Rodriguez, Eflin, Fetty, and Kramer, and that to me is a much better playoff rotation than I think it is. And look, I know Zach, this is like Zach's dream package here, Fetty and Robert. I think to me, this would be like the dream. You get a bat in your lineup. It's almost like the 1-for-1 Hayes for Robert replacement. Like you swap those guys out, you get the starter there. But then if you do this trade, there we go. You do this trade and then you get another bullpen arm, I think that can be a solid deadline. Now, I do actually, Bob's place here, there's been a lot of rumblings about Blake Snell, not even like just for the Orioles, just about like his availability for other teams and like change of scenery and whatnot. That's a very intriguing one, in my opinion. He still has stuff. It just hasn't gone the way. And actually, he's been better over his last, I can't remember the exact number of starts, 3, whatever. I probably still, I don't know. I probably still, I mean, it depends who's out there. If they can't get anybody else and like Snell's the only option, is he better than Suarez? Like, yeah. I mean, maybe a change of scenery does help him. I don't know, but I mean, we're talking here about the pitching, but the offense is now a huge issue. The thing is, they have the talent on offense to turn it around. The pitching staff, they need guys. They have Burns, they have Rodriguez. Now you have Eflin, but I don't know. And I see Biohack, it's a good point. Would they pay $38 million for Snell? I mean, they took on, what was it, the 18 for Eflin? So it's a new era of Orioles baseball, and this ownership group is willing to spend. So I think that the answer is more likely to be yes than it would be under the previous group, right? But it is true, and Joe makes the point here. They do have more problems than just Kimbrel. At this point, what you're worrying about is they have to get into the dance. They do. Get into the dance is a whole new season, but it doesn't feel like, if they play this way in the playoffs, they're maybe winning one game, if not getting swept. That's how bad they're playing right now. And we can be realistic, right? When the Orioles are playing great, we talk about them being great. We're saying everything's great. The offense is performing. The starters are doing great. The bullpen is on. When the Orioles are playing well, and we praise them, and we talk about them. But it's not our job here to sit here and just ignore reality, I guess, right? Where it's not, again, overreaction city. It's not hot take city here. Right? I'm not saying the season is over here on Friday, July 26th at 11:03 p.m., but they're not playing good baseball right now. Everybody not named Corbin Burns, Grayson Rodriguez, Anthony Santander, Colton Cowser, Ryan O'Hearn, and partially Jordan Westberg, and Burt Smith, I guess, right, is not playing good baseball right now. It's either inconsistent, they're in slumps altogether. And I actually agree with this, Biohack. The defense really bothers me. It's fundamental stuff. You go to your fundamentals. Back to fundamentals. We know Heston is a liability defensively in left field. I think, and Zach said it, he should probably be more of a right fielder. You have guys booting balls, stealing bases on you. It's stuff where, guys go through slumps at the plate, guys go through slumps on the mound, but defense is one thing, and nobody's perfect. But it's frustrating for a lot of people. So look, if you are frustrated, you have every right to be. I am. I think everybody is, because we know this team is better than what they're playing like, especially with the talent they have on the offensive side of the ball. And when you have expectations, right? That Devin Booker clip, I played it about a month ago, right? If a guy is struggling and the team is losing 100 games, no one cares, because it's like, okay, this is expected. This is part of the process to get to where we want to go. But if a guy is struggling on a team that has World Series aspirations, it's a big issue, because how do you get to the World Series? You hit, you play defense, you pitch well. And I do agree with Ed here. Things do tend to snowball when things get bad. This is a mental thing as much as it is a performance thing. This isn't even a talent thing. Like, they have talent. It's just not all coming through right now. And that is the unfortunate part. I see a lot of comments about Brandon Hyde. Again, I'm so floored by his decision tonight. It was poor managerial decision making. I think it was one of his worst decisions of the year. The guy throws 30 pitches yesterday, blows a 3-run lead, and you throw him in there in a high leverage situation, and there's no cushion. The guy just got done blowing that lead, just got done throwing 30 pitches. It was a travel day. And I mean, how else do we expect it to go? I mean, I think I've seen a bunch of comments in the chat about, the second Kimbrel came in, everybody knew what was about to happen. Geez, my lights are falling everywhere. It's that kind of night. It was a great day, and now my lights are falling. Just, I guess, is that a sign the sky's falling? No, sky is not falling, but the Orioles do have issues. So again, I mean, I think what Kimbrel is now is he's not your closer. Yeah, he's not your closer. And I see JMK, this is a good point here. I think a lot of teams are struggling right now. It's not just the Orioles, right? The Orioles are still a solid team. They're just not playing like it right now. I know the Phillies are going through it. Yankees obviously are awful right now, right? Every team, it feels like, is going through some level of a struggle. But, the problem still persists. It's just a matter of, can they get over them, and can they address them at the deadline? Which, by the way, we are going to have a big trade deadline extravaganza stream on Tuesday. So we'll be going live here probably anywhere from 2 to 7, 3 to 7. We're going to be breaking down not just Orioles moves that happen, but every single trade that happens in that window, leading you right up to the deadline. We're going to be taking you through that deadline. Is it 6 Eastern time? So again, 2 to 7, 3 to 7. We will have that for you on Tuesday. Big extravaganza stream. And again, be sure to like and subscribe here on the Ryan Rickman Show channel. We go live Mondays and Thursdays. This, though, is Kevin and Zach Reacts, which is, again, the post-game live edition of the Ryan Rickman Show. It's me and Zach Bollinger taking you through all of that. And, of course, Ryan hops on from time to time. Rocco, Brad, the whole crew. We're moving over to a different channel starting tomorrow, actually. So we're going to do a big announcement stream over here. We're going to unveil the logo and everything that channel is going to be. And we'll still cross-stream for, the first however many months it will be here and on the other channel. But eventually, we'll just have that as its own standalone channel. So we won't be going live for post games on this channel. Eventually, it'll be just all over on the new channel. What time for the stream tomorrow afternoon? We're thinking starting it up anywhere from 2 to 4 Eastern. We don't know exactly the timing yet, but just somewhere in that window. So, yep, 2 to 4 Pocket Watch, somewhere in that. But we will announce the channel. We'll have the link to the channel in that description as well, so you can follow along there as well. So yeah, I mean, just a tough game all around. Let's give a all right. Let's do a panic meter. Let's do a panic meter. Scale of 1 to 10. How much are you panicking about the Orioles? 1 is you're not panicking at all. Everything is fine. 10 is the sky's falling. Season is over. Book it. What is your panic meter? Mine is it's so hard without the deadline being finished. Like that's why I wanted it to be just like, okay, after the deadline we talk about this whole thing. I'm gonna give mine I'll go 6. I'll give a 6. It was at 5.5, and now it's at a 6. Because I think that some of these problems are persistent. And I talk about this on Locked On Ravens all the time. You know, for those who don't know, I cover the Ravens for Locked On Ravens, and I talk about this all the time. When you're in the early part of the season, right, you go through stretches where you struggle with certain things. And you're so early in the year, you think about, okay, well, look, this is correctable over the course of the next couple of months. And then football season, obviously, you know, you talk about like September to October, September to November, first like 8-9 weeks of the season. You're like, all right, let's see if they can work through their issues over the first 9 weeks of the year. Now, we are in a situation right now with the Orioles where it is not May. It is not June. We are in almost August. So we're not to the end of the season yet. There is still time. 100% there's still time. But we are now at the point with this where, I mean, trends are trends. This is a trend. The Orioles offense, runners in scoring position, that is a trend. The bullpen being consistent, that is a trend. The way the offense is playing right now, that is more so of a slump in my opinion, but the runners in scoring position thing does remain evident. So, and Mike here is saying deadline won't fix the approach at the plate. They have to be better. Situational hitting. I mean, we've seen Mountie have a couple of productive outs, although the double play yesterday was brutal. that was calling that a productive out is pretty generous if we're being honest. But I mean, yeah, I mean, Steven makes a good point here, and I've been saying this too. Just get into the dance, right? Get whole new season, but you got to be able to eliminate some of these trends or at least get better at them before everything starts. And that is why, yes, stacking wins in April is important. Stacking wins early is important. It's the same way that it happens. Boom Boom Birdland saying make the wild card and go from there. If that's what it takes, I think that the Yankees are playing so terribly right now, and somehow the Orioles are still up. Where like, you know, they're still up in the division. They're still 2 games up. Like somehow, some way, they're still up. So yeah, it is. And again, this is a good point here by Cello. We're getting to the point where it is a trend. I'm giving it like 5-10 games max, and then I'm like, yeah, this is a trend. The reason I'm saying it's more of a slump as opposed to a trend is because it hasn't been going on for practically the whole season. They had spurts at the beginning / middle parts of the year, where now we're seeing like, yes, the last month and a half has been it. So I think, you know, it's a long slump that is turning into a trend, but the runners in scoring position thing has been all season. So that has been a trend. I think this is what makes it so disappointing for a lot of people too. Just like it's the what ifs, right? Like if Felix was here, man, things would be so different. So different. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, it is what it is. Now, last thing before we get out of here is I do want to get everybody's opinions on the trade deadline as it has been so far. There was a tweet on Ryan's account that summarized it. So insofar is obviously Dominguez, Zach Eflin, and Christian Pache. And then out is Austin Hayes, Matthew Etzel, Jackson Bellmeister, and Matt Horvath. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think Mike Elias has done so far? Those 2 trades, how do you think Mike Elias has done? We can either do let's do grades. Let's not do the 1 through 10. Let's do grades. Well, I see. All right, all right. You can either grade it or you can give a number. I will not discriminate. You can You can give a number or you can give a letter grade. One of the two. I see 4 out of 10, 8.5, 6, 5, and then B, C, B plus. Yeah, I screwed up. I should have just said the numbers, but it's all right. Give a letter or a number. You will not be discriminated against either way. 6.5, A minus, B, 4, B, 4, C. I see B in there as well from Biohack. B minus, 6, C plus. I mean, I have it as like, if I'm going to give a number, it'd probably be like, I like the F move a lot. I'd probably give it a 7. Letter grade, probably like a B plus, like around there. I don't think it's enough, but I think as a start, it's fine. Right? You need more, but to start, I think it's fine. And yeah, this is a pretty good way to put it, for sure. Incomplete. Just a bit outside, 100%. If the Orioles have the ninth tomorrow, who am I putting out there to try to get a save? Not Craig Kimbrel. Let me get spicy. I'm going to say put Dominguez out there. Let's see what he has. See if he can do it. I mean, what else do you have? I mean, realistically, it's probably Cano. But it is what it is. Rob saying, hey, Ryan Ripken. I wish I was Ryan Ripken. Hey, Ryan Ripken. No, I'm kidding. Hey, Ryan Ripken. Is the new channel going to do play-by-play live during the game? A couple of things here. Appreciate you, Rob. A few things that are going to be new on the new channel for Kevin and Zach React is Zach and I are going to launch call-ins after games. We are very serious about that, and we are going to do it. So after games like this, you can vent. Obviously, there are going to be some ground rules on that, right? It's going to be a little like radio, so you can't go like too crazy, unfiltered, just like spewing like everything. But obviously, you are allowed to vent your frustration. You are allowed to vent. You are allowed to curse, right? We're not just, again, don't like get too crazy with that. That, just very basic ground rules for the call-ins, because if that does happen, we'll have to take you off the screen, because we can't have that happening with the call-ins. And then the second thing that we're going to have is the live play-by-play. Not necessarily every game for the Orioles. I think we're going to try to do it every game for the Ravens. But that is something we also really want to do, because I feel like that's another untapped thing here in Baltimore. I know a few people do it, but I think we have a lot of potential for that as well. And so I think we're going to start with probably bigger Orioles games, and then we're going to move into Ravens games when the season starts for that. So we're going to have a bunch of new things on the new channel, new memberships eventually. So again, if you just want to support on here with the memberships and you want to keep your membership here on the Ryan Ripken Show, 100%, no worries, no hard feelings. But if you do want to support us on the other channel, we will have that as an option as well, just for more exclusive content. And then we are also going to have new emotes and new intro. For some reason, and I'll address this now, people think the intro is just way too long. I am very curious as to where everybody was when we had a 5-minute intro for this show. I cut it down to 3. We made it 3 minutes. For the new channel, I'm gonna make it 2 minutes. I'm gonna make it even shorter for 2 minutes. So I mean, at the end of the day, like, the intro is a way to get people in the stream and in the chat before we actually go live. Right. So that's why we do the intro. I thought shorter than 3 minutes was enough, but yeah. And apparently, this is what people want. After one loss, 1 minute. That's it. That's exactly what happens. But again, just for the reaction streams, cutting it down to 2 minutes, I think that's reasonable. For the actual Ryan Ripken shows, keeping it at 3 just to get everybody in there is what we need. Because again, it's just a way to get everybody in the stream. And yeah, Stackhouse is one of the OGs. We got a lot of OGs here, but Stackhouse saying the 5-minute intro was a banger. So it's it's going to be exciting, and we're going to have that announcement at anywhere from 2 to 4 p.m. We'll be revealing the logo. It is a super well done logo. We're going to be revealing all of that and everything that is going on there. And I see yeah, just a bunch of support here. And shout out to Orioles Birdwatcher. I know that you do your games as well. We're going to try to work something out eventually at some point. We're trying to get the channel off the ground first, but we're definitely gonna have stuff and collab with people and have guests on and do everything with that. So it's not just going to be Zach and I. That's another thing we want to do with the live games is have guests on during those and have people react to them with us. So that will be exciting as well. When that all happens, don't really know what that looks like, but again, it's a work in progress right now. So Joseph saying over under Kramer makes it through 5 tomorrow. I hope he does. I hope he does. We're gonna see what happens, but gonna be really. It's such a big spot. Where is the? It's either Burns or Kramer who like need to save the Orioles season. It was Burns a couple days ago. It's Kramer now. It's all of these things. I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna say he makes it 5 2/3. Oh, I see. Will said 6. All right, so I'm gonna take 5 2/3, which is what the need is for them right now. Them using guys in that Marlins game out of that bullpen was unfortunate. Shouldn't have been that way, obviously. But now the issue here for the Orioles is if you're using Kimbrel in like a low leverage, not really a part of the bullpen role, you're down a guy in the bullpen. And you can't be a guy down in the bullpen, especially not on a team that's contending. So you're going to have to figure out what to do with him. Again, I would be shocked if they DFA'd him. I think the way that happens is if he doesn't accept his role. Because I think we're past the closer role. If we're not, I don't really know what we're doing here. But if we are past the closer role, I just, if he doesn't accept the low leverage role for a more permanent thing, well, I mean, that becomes an off the field issue, off the diamond issue. And you can't have distractions when you're trying to win a World Series. So I can probably see a compromise where he gets moved to the 8th inning. Man, Will and I are on the same wavelength tonight. Kimbrel will move to the spot. Dominguez is into the 8th, and Dominguez and Gano will be the split closer. Yeah, I mean, I think the compromise will be he moves to an 8th inning role. That will probably be the compromise. It's lower leverage, and you just can't put him in the closer situation anymore. So we're going to see what ends up happening with that. So, disappointing. The Orioles do make a couple trades, and that, that's a big thing. So we are going to just figure out what this team's next move is. But Dominguez, Eflin, they are members of the Orioles. Let's get through the rest of the donations here. Oh, Wally, I'm just seeing this now. Kevin, need a partner. I'll join you. So once the live call-ins come in, we are going to be getting this going. So that's going to be really exciting. Samuel saying, all right, let me get through these first. Hyde is a losing manager. His record says so. Didn't understand the decision tonight for sure. Pocket Watch saying last donation here before the Reactors channel going live. That's exactly what it is. But a great run. Tomorrow we new beginnings. Go O's. We're gonna cross stream on both channels to start it off. But we are going to be doing the big announcement stream tomorrow. 723 saying I want Pete Fairbanks in Baltimore. How electric would that be? How electric. I'd love that. Pocket Watch saying huge fan of the post-game call-ins. Thank you. Yeah, that's something we're really excited about. And then Pocket Watch 20. Appreciate your Pocket Watch. Shout out for Orioles Birdwatcher and his game broadcast. Hope you guys can work something out for sure. We're gonna start up the channel to kind of figure it out. We're not going to be doing every single Orioles game live. It'll probably be just more so for big ones. But as we get that going, for sure, hoping to work something out there because I know Orioles Birdwatcher does a lot of hard work. So eventually we'll try to get that going. But we're going to try by the end of baseball season to have some schedule going for that. But again, probably not for every game or not during every game. And then during Ravens season, we'll try to do it for every game. But again, appreciate everybody who's excited for that. We're going to have that 2 to 4 tomorrow. And we got a special surprise here. It is still his birthday. He decided to make an appearance. It is Ryan Ripken, the birthday boy himself. Ryan, I know you had some festivities down at Pickles calling the pregame, and you've been enjoying your birthday. How's it been? How's your birthday been?
Exhausting. No, it's all good. It's just been, you know, no, it's good. I can't complain. I got a lot of things I'm thankful for, but yeah, it was a grind today, Kev. The grind don't stop. Pickles had great energy. Didn't end the way that team wanted tonight, but can't complain. But yeah, I'm just getting home, just getting back home. So appreciate the group. I mean, I said it earlier on the live stream when the Zach Eflin news broke, but this community, man, Kev, it's just incredible. The fact just seeing the donations coming through from Pocket Watch and just seeing from Will and from a lot of other people. It's just great people. Just blessed for that, man. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then the Orioles lost.
Yeah, what a crazy day, honestly. Like,
And one thing I want to just say out loud, at least on my thing with Craig, I love Craig. I believe in his talent. I believe that he's one of the best closers that has ever pitched. I think that he has the ability to help this team. I think the more major problem, Kevin, for me is it's just the Orioles just need more high leverage relief pitchers. I think that's the bigger part where there isn't a lot of guys that are put in these close run situations that has a lot of trust. So that's really where I do it. I still think for the Orioles, adding another guy to close that out, I think is going to be the biggest need, because I think you're going to need Craig. You're going to need to get him right, and absolutely you're going to have to. Having said that, you're going to need one other guy or two other guys. That's why seeing the moves they made, Kev, it makes me feel that the O's have two or three more moves left in them, to be honest. So,
yeah.
And that's so but this is the point that I'm trying to make here. You go out and get a player that can also in high leverage situations be there with Kimbrel. Not saying that Kimbrel has to be the one that can burden the load the entire time. Is he capable of it? I think he is, but can you risk that of not having other guys? No, you can't. And the bullpen, though, who was the guy, Kevin? Who was the pitcher that the Orioles like to trust in close situations recently? Sorry, over the last year or so. I mean, Cano, take out Cano because he's had his ups and downs. There's one pitcher, and he's not playing right now.
Bautista, Felix.
That too. I lied. It's two of them. Felix won, but Danny Coulomb. And I'm not saying Danny Coulomb's not a closer. What I'm saying is high leverage situations, in tough situations, you bring them in because you have trust in them. The Orioles, to me, don't have that full trust in those situations. So when you can add a couple other pieces, that's where I think it all comes together. So, I'm not, and also don't jump ship on things. Yeah, you're going to need Craig. Do the Orioles need two more pitchers? Absolutely. They need two more relief pitchers. That they need it. They don't have the depth. I love the guys. I love the team. I love what they're capable of. But you can tell that right now that they are running on fumes on the bullpen side. So Dominguez, I was glad I like the get. I think it's a great trade for the Phillies, though. Just saying, I thought it's a great get for the Phillies for Hayes. But they need one or two more arms. And the best closer that's out there available or relief pitcher is Tanner Scott right now. So that's what I got, Kev.
No,
there's one other one, but go ahead.
What I was just going to say, and that's what I've been saying, is I don't think you can't trust Kimbrel in the closer role right now, but this also isn't a situation where they're going to DFA him. In my eyes, there's no world that happens. Not at all.
Oh, okay. Whoa. We're talking DFAs.
I'm saying no.
Time out. I'm gonna pull something up here. I'm gonna be that guy.
I said no, but what I did say is there's going to have to be some level of he's your eighth inning guy. So still not as high leverage as being a closer, but like you can't just like play a man down in the bullpen here.
Hold on.
All right,
Hold on.
I'll let you do your thing. I don't know what you're pulling up.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
what you're
this
pulling
is
up.
I want to be objective here, okay? Because I think it's important. What do you think? How would you view Josh Hader?
I mean, it hasn't been great. But hello? Yeah, all right. I said, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I said it hasn't been great. Like,
Okay.
hasn't
So,
been
but his pedigree showing you he can be.
yeah, for sure.
Okay. So Josh Hader sits with a 3.68 ERA on the season, 20 saves, right? Kenley Jensen now ERAs come up, but he's a guy at the 2.97. Pete Fairbanks, what you just mentioned, after Craig's outings, Craig finally passed him in team ERA for Pete Fairbanks from the Rays. So we've gone around and seen Fairbanks hasn't been fully lights out. Clay Holmes has not been lights out for the Yankees. Josh Hader hasn't been the full Josh Hader he usually is. So it's hard to close games is what I'm trying to get at. But having said that, because now we're at this point of the season, this is where I'm going with. If there is a little bit of hesitation and the difference between Craig and these other guys is Craig's up there in age, Jensen's up there in age. You, because of that alone, and you're trying to limit, that's where you're going to need someone else to burden that. And you were hoping Cano would be that. You would hope Danny Coulomb would be that. And right now, though, that's not the case. And it's unfortunate too, by the way, that the Kimbrel thing happened yesterday with the Marlins, which I'm kind of a little bit not shocked, but he had that whole situation, and then he pitched again tonight, and it's a whole different story. But yesterday, they're out of the game and win the game if Gunnar doesn't make the error, right? It's like the defense hasn't helped the pitching. It didn't help the pitching earlier in this game. Things could get better. But for Craig, the bigger thing, it's not just a Craig issue. It's more of a high leverage issue. You need to have guys that you trust. And I just don't think the Orioles have enough guys that they trust at the back end. Am I articulating that well?
No, I mean, they miss Felix. I mean, that's really what it is. They miss Felix a ton.
And also, Felix, by the way, had 6 blown saves before he went out for the year in August. For context.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't perfect. Yeah, he was not perfect. But no one is. No one is.
No, they're not.
But
They're not.
Yeah, I do think, just I want to take this team in context after the trade deadline. Like, that's why I'm so excited for Tuesday, because like we know what they've done, these 2 trades here. But they need more guys, and like, what do they do? And then we can kind of evaluate what it is. So
yeah, I mean, and that's the, in this case, honestly, I don't know. And maybe it's just because it's been a long day, but you guys know me. I'm even keeled with this. I wish I was more even keeled when I was playing. When I wasn't playing well, you're pissed, you're frustrated, you're stressed. And one thing that gets me, or at least now being out of it, is that I feel for guys that are going through it. And like seeing that picture of Kimbrel, I feel it. Like I feel that, and I feel for him. I really do. Because also the thing that you notice is as soon as shit hits the fan, people are so easy to criticize and tell you how bad you are. And so, but it's a business, right? Like you got to go out there and perform. Now I saw someone mention. Do you talk much about the offense, Kev?
yeah, we touched on it, and their need for a bat. Do you go out there and get one? All that type of deal.
Yeah. So here's my thing with the lineup. If you look at 1 through 9 through the lineup tonight, they all got that they got some bangers in the lineup. They got some hitters, right? They got some. It was a really good lineup overall, and the bigger thing for the O's right now for me is when you get into crunch situations. Take out the long ball talk. We've had enough of that. Crunch situations, being able to come through. That's why I'm a big proponent of not trading Ryan Mountcastle in general, because I just love how Mounty's approach as a hitter. A guy that also is underestimated, not anymore, but early in the season, that's why Santander plays every day. He's a gamer. his numbers are going to reflect them at the end of the year. I mean, and it's a good point. Some of your studs are having struggles. Like, Kaylee brought up, like, Adley's having some struggles. That's baseball. Where do you want the veteran bat to go? That's what I'm saying. If you want to trade for a guy, who do you want to trade for? Who's coming in? Who do you want to give at bats away? You just traded Austin Hayes away, who the Phillies just came out, Kevin, and said they're going to play him every day. And I'm like, damn, Austin Hayes, or they said he's not a platoon player. And I'm thinking, damn, Hayes might go on a tear. He very well might. The hard thing for the Orioles, I think the bigger thing for them is you got to give consistent at bats to people. And I think that's a hard thing that's starting to catch up for them. And then, yeah, quite frankly, they're going to have to do the little things a little bit better. I think it's more of, here's the example. Sorry, I want to go to this. This is little things in baseball. Base hit Mountie had yesterday, got the run home. Today, you need to get the job done. Job is get him over, get him in. Sack fly gets the job done. So you need more players in at bats like that. And that's why you can't discredit or take away a guy like Mountie. But at the same time, you're going to have I'm just not worried about the lineup, Kev, overall. The only thing for me is just let me take this back. Sorry, my brain's short circuiting right now. It's been a while.
I don't blame you.
What's happening, right? There's three elements of the game right now for the Orioles and any team. You got to pitch, you got to play defense, you got to hit. So it's either score runs, pitch, play defense. Those three elements for the Orioles, they're not doing it consistently enough right now. That's why you're seeing more struggles. Their defense is a little bit sloppier, right? And correct me if I'm wrong with Grayson. Was it Heston misplayed the ball? I didn't see the full play there. Was there something that happened there that Heston possibly could have caught it?
Oh yeah, it hit him right in the glove. Like it was
okay. So I didn't see that play. So my point is, plays that might not go down as errors, but plays that need to be made. And then there's just flat out errors, right? So the Orioles tonight, if I'm looking at this, pulling this up, you only have one error that shows up in the scoreboard, and that's a physical that's going down as an error. But we just talked about there's a play that could have been made. So defense is not helping your pitching. Pitching's not executing a little bit. That happened with Kimbrel at the end. And then offensively, I didn't think there was a problem necessarily tonight offensively. It's just you're not putting the pieces together. You need to do two of the three a night to win more times than not. So
yeah.
am I sounding insane at this hour? Or am
no,
I
I mean, no, it's everything at once, a little bit of everything at once. Yeah. And again, I said this too, a couple minutes before you came on. I'm like, the team has talent. This is not a talent issue. It's just they're not playing good baseball right now. They have to get out of it. Like it's something where the offense hasn't been up to the standard that we know they can play up to, and that's sure. Where everybody is going. Yeah. What are you laughing at?
No, it's just true. I think that it does make me laugh that how much we can grasp on to 162 games, that every one game it's you're ready to just punch a hole through a wall, right? I'm still like, it's just perspective. And I actually did this on radio tonight, and I appreciate all the happy birthdays again, Chris. Thank you. Let's take a look around other teams in baseball for a second going into tonight. Okay. So if I was going to pull up the standings, and I know I have a pretty good feeling I'm going to be right on this. Well, not pretty good because I did this earlier. So let's go to the board here. I'm going to share my screen for you, Kevin.
All right, let's go.
Whoa, excuse me. Oh, been a day. Okay. So you can see this right now?
Yep.
Right, Kev?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So look at this last 10 here on the right. This is Orioles, Yankees, Red Sox. Three really good teams, all of them below 500 in the last 10. Then you got the Guardians and the Twins, and now the Royals finally are over 500 over the span. So 5-5, 5-5, right? Now you go to the Houston Astros, 5-5, Seattle Mariners, 2-8, and then Texas, 7-3. Okay. It's funny. A lot of these teams down here, 7-3, 6-4, 6-4. Then you're going to the Phillies. They're 3-7. They are 3-7 right now. And then also the Atlanta Braves are 3-7, losers of 6 straight. Only the Mets are a little bit better there. Then you're looking at the Brew Crew. I'm just making sure I'm right. I know I'm right. Brewers, 5-5, 5-5 for the Cardinals. And then lastly, the Dodgers are 6-4. And yeah, the Padres won. So, good for them and all that. But so you're getting the context of what I'm trying to say, that this isn't just one team. It's a lot of the good teams right now. Phillies are the best team in baseball. And they're not playing up to par. So,
And I had said that earlier in the stream. I'm like, what team is playing good baseball right now? That's what I mentioned. I'm just like,
and it's going to infuriate the hell out of fans. And I get it. I really, really do. And the Padres, Will, you brought it up. Yeah, they're a buzzsaw right now. They are playing inspired. They're playing like what everyone was hoping the last couple of years, or like they expected this.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't want anybody to feel with the Orioles, I don't want them to press, because when you press in sports, you suck. You're terrible. Every time I try to press Kevin, I mean, what's your thing? Well, it's different when you're being locked on Ravens, Kev. You can, but do you feel clear-headed when you're pressing?
No. I mean, it's difficult. It's more difficult, at least. I mean, you're kind of scrambling a little bit,
For sure. Right. So it's scramble drill. Like, you find yourself more tense, and especially with hitting or pitching, you can't do more of that, So what the Orioles have to try to find to do is whatever funk it is. You know what I'd have them do, Kevin? I'd do one of Ryan's superstitions. Can't say all of the ones I do on air, but I would do something goofy as hell and try to just change up the vibe, because that's really the biggest thing, is getting guys comfortable. But I will say this is objective. People say we're not objective, or I'm not objective, right? That's the cry here. They have issues right now. If they do not correct their issues down the stretch, it's going to bite them. The sloppy defense, to me, is like the number one thing that you got to be better with. Like, that's really one thing.
Yeah.
And it makes the world of difference if you give extra outs or opportunities.
Yeah.
Extra opportunities. So, bum. Yeah. Oh, holy shirts and pants, man. If you guys new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. You've been talking about Kevin and Zach Reacts.
I've been doing my call to actions. I've been doing you good. Been doing you good.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of donations. So I don't know if you saw them coming through. Will, appreciate you. Batting second, Gunnar Henderson. Oh, that's bold right there, Will. That's a little bold. Lineup shakeup incoming. Is that that's what you're getting at there, Will? So yeah, good. I don't know. There we go. Joe with the 2. Always appreciate you, Joe. Super broke, but can't wait to call in. Callin's going to be a movie once we move that over there. We got John coming back. Appreciate you, John.
Hey, John.
There he is. Tigers and all. Eflin will help rooting hardcore for the O's this fall. Appreciate you, John. Appreciate you supporting, tuning in. Another Jonathan, saying love the show. First time catching a live stream. Appreciate you. Lucas saying happy birthday, Rip. This is for some spicy water. Giving you the 5.
Thank you.
We got Boom Boom Berlin with the 1 month member. Happy birthday, Ryan.
Thank you.
Pocket Watch saying happy birthday, Ryan. And then John coming back with the give us Jackson Holiday plus for Screwball and win a World Series. I don't know about that one. I've been saying it. I don't know about Jackson, but
Yeah.
that's
So
what we got to
it's
deal
true.
with.
And right now, hey Jeremy, appreciate you, man. Thank you. Um, it's funny. Didn't In some cases, Kev doesn't always feel like I haven't even been able to really check my phone yet. Besides, like I got to keep up, make sure you and Kevin, or you're Kevin, Zach and Brad and Rock, all like we're doing what we got to do, right? And but I haven't even checked. I haven't even checked in on my phone at all. So it's I got to do that. Hey, Kevin, have you heard me say this quite a bit?
Yeah, you've been saying who's that Jordan Montgomery? Who's that
Like
Jordan Montgomery?
that's going to be the biggest thing. Talking sports, love that. If the great minds think alike, right? So you got to find who's going to be that version of the 2023 Jordan Montgomery at the deadline.
Yeah.
I don't see a world. I shouldn't say that. That's wrong. I don't. I'm not feeling confident that a crochet move's happening. Not for the Orioles in general. I don't see a move for Scooble happening because the only team, if I'm the Tigers, where I'm sitting there and I would do this Scooble deal, the only team that could do it is the Orioles. Truly.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
And I don't see the Orioles doing that. I would love for them to go get, I think, an Eric Fetty. I still think, the Tanner Scott thing for me, I still like Scott. I like Estevez a lot, but the Angels are saying guys aren't as available. What's happening? Uh, um, so like the Angels say Anderson and Estevez weren't available initially, but
I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know what's
yeah,
happening over there.
yeah, But yeah, guys, new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. I feel like Kevin, just so people understand, we're gonna have so much upcoming with this deadline. I mean, hell, if a trade happens tomorrow, you're gonna be back on here talking about what is going on, right?
Oh yeah,
It's tis the season Tuesday. We're doing a draft special or deadline special.
deadline. Yep.
Monday, regular show. We have some cool guests lined up for Monday. Will again. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah. And Grant Pat, Eflin, and Mountie played at the same high school.
Oh, nice little nugget right there.
See,
Like that.
the more you know.
Yeah,
The
appreciate you,
more
Grant.
you know. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about, Kev?
I think that's it. I was about to get off, and then we got another 30 minutes out of it with you on here. I'm glad you hopped on. So
Yeah.
Zach abandoned me 30 minutes in because he never has a mobile charger, and his phone always dies when he's out and about. So
It's okay. Yeah, he was out and about, and he was helping me get some things set up. But yeah, I saw you were on. Had to check in.
yeah, man.
Everyone hates when I say it. The O's are still fine. The one thing that I hate is, and maybe that's just a player in me, and I'm better at this now than when I played, is that if you can find a way of like what you can do to move forward, and still know that all your goals are at hand, that every one of their goals are at hand. That's like, I know it's Aaron Boone, it's all in front of us. It's true. But for the Orioles, like legit, we had Trey Mancini on, Kev. Trey was saying, like, damn, this talent is so unbelievable. Trey's like, this team's really good. So which we also are going to release that interview. Sorry for the audio issues yesterday for people, but that's going to be coming out soon. And all of that. So and again, the O's are fine. It's a mantra for the sky is not falling. Every team has issues. No team is perfect. And for the Orioles, though, if we just went through that list of it, there's only a couple teams that have a better situation than Baltimore right now. Philly, as far as like where they are. Philly, Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
Houston's good. I mean, Houston scares the hell out of me. They always have.
Good team. It's a good team.
Yeah. I'll just nip this in the bud right here. Thoughts on Hayes' post-game presser? Was this? I think it was the comments about saying he's going to a
Yeah,
team that has a better chance.
I haven't talked about it yet.
I think better chance to win the World Series, I think is what he said. I
Yeah,
mean,
you don't have a chance to
objectively, that's true. You know, I think in some cases, as a player, always when he loved Baltimore, Hayes loved being in Baltimore. It hurts, dude, when you get traded. Especially it hurts when you felt like you were such a big part of the team, and now you're platooning. They love him, but it just things changed, and I don't think there's any bitterness he has with Baltimore, bitterness about that. I think that's blown out of proportion at all. But I will say this: I think Hayes getting traded, he's going to always when you're traded, you want to prove the team that got you right. It's like it's in your DNA to do it. So I think that's definitely Hayes has that mentality. Sorry, not everyone has that mentality. Hayes has that mentality. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's a good point.
You're a good kid, Kev.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So
okay, anything else?
Is that all you got? That's all I got. So if you're good, we'll sign off here. We'll be back tomorrow at anywhere from 2 to 4 p.m. Unveiling the new Kevin and Zach Reacts logo, the channel, everything that comes along with that. So be sure to like and subscribe over there. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe over here on the Ryan Ripken Show. We go live Mondays and Thursdays in studio. And again, we are going to have our trade deadline extravaganza on Tuesday. So you're not going to want to miss that as well. So for all your Orioles trade deadline coverage, reactions, we also cover the Ravens, Baltimore sports, topics outside of Baltimore as well. We have it covered for all of that, short form content, long form content, bringing you a lot. Plus, we go around the area, and we're going to have a lot of exciting content coming. It's also July 31st as well, coming up soon, man. It's really flown by here. We're going to get a lot of content in the football, soccer realm of things. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. One more on the way out. Scooble is the best left-handed pitcher in the world. Fight the bullet, John. I know you really want Jackson. We really want Jackson too, though. So I think that's what it is, right?
Trade the farm. Trade everybody. Everybody gets traded. I still love that one meme or that one picture of Kevin where it's like someone did the entire Orioles offense to Detroit or something like that.
Yeah,
and they spelled Heston's name wrong.
Mayo, Kerstad, Westberg, Basayo, everybody gets traded over there. So, yeah, gonna be an exciting deadline though. So we'll have all your coverage over here on the Ryan Ripken Show. Kevin and Zach Reacts as well. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll be back here again tomorrow, so stay tuned for all of that. Peace out, everybody.